Okay. Wait a couple seconds. Hello, and welcome to 48-hour art check round
24.
Is it 24? Really?
I think so.
Either 23 or 24.
Yeah.
I didn't look. I forgot that we put that in our titles. So, welcome to 48-hour art check round 20-something. I'm Kayla. This is Kaitlin. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is where we talk about art, we check in with each other about art, and we just have a bunch of fun. And tonight, where we have a disagreement. So,
I think it's going to be a partial disagreement. I agree with you on some of it, but on other parts, yeah, we'll get into it.
I think it'll be a partial I think it's going to be interesting. So if you're here, we're very happy to have you because we would like some people in the chats, in the live chats, participating and telling us whose side you agree with, or if you're on your own side.
Giving us a tiebreaker.
Yeah, give us a tiebreaker. Other than that, though, we're just going to hop right into the art. So what have you done in the last 48 hours?
So I'm still working on the super secret project that I can't show on here just yet. I say super secret like it's really important, but in reality, it's just a gift for a friend. So yeah. Anyways, so I can't show it, but I'm still working on it. I get Kayla's input from time to time, mostly when I think it looks stupid or bad. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Kayla, what are you working on?
Quite a few things, and I just realized that I didn't have them pulled up all the way. But you'll just see two things, I guess. So we have here, oh geez, I forgot how to use StreamYard. There we go.
Yep.
So here we have my portfolio, which has changed since the last time everybody has seen it. Here's my cool little animation it plays. It gives you a little bit more information about me. Still the same old stuff here. What do I do? My portfolio, if it'll switch, there we go. More projects. A lot more projects, as you can see, quite a few. And then just my contact page. And I forgot to get rid of this little shopping cart. But that'll be in my next 48. And then other than that, we're going to have to do the weird thing where my StreamYard doesn't let me do what I want it to do. Screen sharing was canceled.
Oh, I didn't cancel it. It wasn't me.
Well, I can't show it. But this is really weird.
Huh.
Share. I am. Anyways, I was gonna show my client work that I turned in. But I haven't heard back from them yet. But I turned it in, and so we're kind of waiting to see what they say.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's cool. It's turned in. Maybe I'll pull it up on my phone while you're talking about your challenges.
Okay.
Just multitask a little bit there.
Yeah.
So, what are your challenges?
Yeah. So, me and Kayla were just talking about how my challenge shouldn't be a challenge. It should be a motivation. But I'm not happy with how my stuff is turning out. I know what I want it to look like. And I think I just need to go back to sketching because it's not quite what I want it to be looking like.
Mm-hmm.
But I've already sketched it a bunch. And so the problem is and maybe it's good that we're talking about wasting time today because I don't want to give up this project because I really like the concept and I really like where I want it to end up. I'm just having a hard time getting it there. And normally that would motivate me, but now I'm just like, well, I don't want to work on it because I don't like it. So yeah. I'm supposed to be working on a set of things, so maybe I can just start working on one of the other pieces of it, to get myself off the part that I don't like. But yeah, so that's my biggest challenge is that I'm not liking it, and I just need to get over it and throw it in the trash and start over.
That's the joy of multiple projects.
Yes. So
now you see why I'm addicted to it.
Yep. See, I think that's super cute.
These are coasters. This is what I was trying to pull up on my computer, but it wouldn't let me. So, yep. So those are coasters. They're for 4-H, a national organization. National Youth Organization. And one of their sayings is learn by doing. And so this one here, this one is a car coaster. Oh, I forgot that if you double tap it, it zooms in. And then this one here is a just a regular coaster.
Nice.
So, yep, pretty cool. My challenges, a lot going on. Not gonna get too much into it. Just one of our topics coming up in the near future is going to be about setting goals. And so I'm just learning when to set realistic goals, and how to plan for the worst possible outcome without getting stressed. And so just like that, just stuff like that. And that's about it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's a brief overview.
Yeah.
Next 48, what are you doing?
Same old, same old. I'm gonna keep working on these things. I realized in the last episode I said what they were. So
really?
Careful. Yeah, like just barely in passing. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on this project until November 26th, or hopefully way before then. So yeah.
Okay. So for the next 48, getting rid of that shopping cart, applying for a job, actually applying for it, not just like saying that I'm going to apply for it. My goal is to actually apply for it by then.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario is I apply for it Friday. I would like to apply for it before though. Mm-hmm. And then also, I need to look at these books. These are not my books. They are Corey Kerr's, but I'm doing this like children's book with a bunch of people, and this Gravity Falls book shows a bunch of like a book that hops different illustration styles, which is exactly what we're doing. So like looking at that, and then this one is called Little Nemo Return to Slumberland. The original comic I want to say was around 1905. This is like a reboot of it. Yeah. And it's about this boy that goes to Dreamland on different adventures, which is similar to our book. Yeah. Very, very different in a lot of ways, but quite a few. And so I kind of just want to sit down and read it. I don't know. I love reading comics, so I'm like excited that I have these two books right now. Because he's letting me borrow them and like actually take them home. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read comics. Yeah. Which is like the best part about our major is we can just read comics and it's technically
Professor Kurt, when we were working on our storyboards for our animation, he let us borrow the coolest book, which was just a book full of storyboards from Star Wars movies.
I've seen that book.
It was so amazing to flip through because they have like a ton of artists work on their storyboards, and like they all are in different styles, and some are more detailed than the others, but they're all like just amazing. It was the coolest book to look through. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it. There's 4 different stories in here. Oh yeah, okay. So on this page it's manga, and then literally the next page it goes to like this style, and then it goes to this style. Like it's crazy changes.
Yeah.
In style, but it's
really cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. I've been reading some of it, so
nice.
It's super cool. Actually studying like the similarities between the characters, so you know when it's all that.
Cool.
So, the topic for tonight, we did not change the thing, but it is about wasting time. I updated that banner wrong. We're not gonna have a banner for it. But it's about wasting time. We disagree quite a bit on this one. And I think it'll just be interesting to see how this goes, because I personally think that there is no such thing as wasting time at all. I think that no matter what you do, you're doing something that'll benefit you in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just sitting there on the couch and watching TV, I still think that could be a benefit to your mental health, and so therefore it's not exactly a waste of your time. And I know for a fact that you disagree, because I watched the face that you made as soon as I said it. So we'll just hop in with your opinion and bounce off of that.
So I think that I'm trying to figure out a way. Okay. I think that all things are good in moderation. So yeah, if you need to take a break and watch TV and like do stuff for your mental health, then definitely you should do it. But I think there is a point where you're overdoing it and it's no longer beneficial. Like if you, I don't know, I just have seen quite a few people in my life in recent times that from my perspective are 100% wasting their time.
Here's a question. In their minds, are they wasting their time?
No, because they think they're playing a video game and they think they're being productive, but all they're doing is sitting like this is that I can't address that part of it because it will go all over the place. But I mean, ignoring that, like I think that, I mean, even from my personal perspective, I definitely know that I've wasted time by just like sitting around watching TV, and it's not like to benefit my mental health and it's not to like help me relax. It's that I am being lazy and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I think that you can waste time. Like,
I don't know.
My favorite quote from Henry David Thoreau, who is a very, very important author.
He is.
He said, this is written in Walden Pond. He said, as if you could kill time without injuring eternity. I just think that's very deep. I really like that quote. But I don't know. Like, I think there is a benefit and there is a purpose for it, but at some point you are wasting time.
I think that there's a difference between me looking at you and saying that, or, you know, like this is hypothetical, like you looking at me and saying that I'm wasting time, or me looking at you and saying that you're wasting time. However, I think that's an outside judgment on people that maybe you don't exactly know what benefit they're getting from sitting there and playing the video game. Yeah. I know for a fact that there are people that have looked at me, and sometimes I don't hit like my schoolwork deadlines or stuff like that and whatnot. It's like, oh, well, you're wasting your time because you're not working on your homework right now. And it's like, no, actually, I'm benefiting my mental health by sitting here on the couch and being quote unquote lazy and doing this. Or, you know, just because I'm spending time on this one project, I'm wasting time on another project. Or just because I am watching this video, I'm wasting time on another project. You know, I don't think that it's really ever wasting time. I think that wasting time is kind of something that overproductive people have coined a term. I think that because there are people that are like overproductive or more productive than other people, I think that's kind of where this kind of wasting time thing comes in. And just because in your opinion maybe you're wasting time, I don't think that anything actually ever is a waste of time, because so long as you like what you're doing at that point in time, then it's not necessarily a waste. Because I don't like to look at the world and think, oh yeah, I just wasted 20 hours of my life doing that. Like, no, if I just wasted 20 hours of my life on a project, that's not wasting it. I learned something, you know?
So, okay. All right. I have a couple things to say about what you just said, so I'm going to try and not spew it all out at the same time and get confused. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is like I didn't mean this conversation to go in the direction of like looking at other people and assuming that they're wasting time. That's just something that I'm like dealing with in my personal situation. So let's not take it that direction because I didn't mean that. But I just know that like I personally am fully aware of when I'm doing something to help myself relax or when I'm doing something because I'm not having the motivation to get up and go do what I'm supposed to be doing. And because I can feel that difference, to me, it is wasting time. Because like, I know when I'm sitting, like during finals week, I knew like sitting down and watching a movie was like enough time for me to like take a breath and relax and like not like it was a break for me. But I know that like when I'm sitting at home watching TV now, like it is 100% because I'm too lazy to go get up and like actually work on my designs or like clean my house. Like there's a bunch of other things that I should be doing. And it's not because my mental health is suffering because like I'm actually doing decent right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so like to me, you can, I mean, maybe this isn't everyone else, but I can feel the difference between when I'm doing it to help me and when I'm doing it when I shouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
And then you said something at the very end that I actually do agree with, and I knew we were going to talk about this. I don't know if I'm ready to hop off my horse yet and talk about this.
About projects.
Yeah. I 100% agree that you never waste your time when you're working on a project.
This is the part where I'm going to win the argument.
No, it's not, because we're talking.
I'm just messing with you.
Wasting time in life and wasting time on a project are two different topics. So you're not winning the argument on this one because I already agree with you. Kayla, no, that's not how that works. Wasting time on projects is its own separate topic, and it's something that we are discussing because like that one's not an argument because we agree on it already. So
we're going to hit on that one at the end. I still want to talk about that. But that one.
Well, I mean, like we can get into it now. I just didn't know if I was ready to let go. But
don't let go yet. I'm curious. I feel like this is going to be interesting. Don't let go yet. We'll go on to that later.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's something. There's a term that you're using. It's like should.
Don't you dare quote Professor Kerr on me. Don't do it right now.
I'm not going to. The fact that you thought of the quote yourself is enough. But I wasn't about to. But you're using the word should a lot. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm sitting here doing art check, is there something else I should be doing? If I'm sitting there doing a project, is there something else that possibly I should be doing? Should I be, I don't know, doing my laundry? Should I be doing my homework? Should I be doing this? Whatever. There's probably about 10 different things that quote unquote should be doing at any given time, but I'm going to choose one thing to do over the other. And maybe that might not be exactly productive in the way that, you may define productive, or like I may define productive for myself or whatever. But like, I don't know. I feel like if I saw everything as wasting time, I would see sleep as wasting time. I legitimately would see sleep as wasting time because that's not time where I'm being productive. I kid you not, because I have had this debate with myself, and I know that if I was not saying that there's no such thing as wasting time, which I still don't believe, when I've had this argument with myself, I have said, well, wouldn't sleep be wasting time? And this is why I think there's no wasting time. Like everything that you do in your life has a purpose. Maybe your purpose is, I see you, just let me finish.
I know, I'm trying to keep it all in while you're finishing.
I think I was at a good point, and then I saw you and I got distracted. I
can hide my camera if that helps.
I just need to not look at you. I don't remember what I was saying, but I just think that no matter what, if I'm being lazy, maybe there's 10 other things I should be doing. But right then, I feel like being lazy. Maybe looking back on that, I could be like, oh, dang, I wasted my time there. But at the point in time, I didn't think that I was wasting time. I thought that I was actually doing something that I wanted to do. And so, I don't know. I kind of just have this philosophy of like, if your worst fear is like wasting your time or whatever, like that's a valid fear, but like there is no such thing as wasting time in my opinion. I think that there is such thing as spending too much time on certain things, but I don't think that's wasted time. Go ahead.
Okay, so no, I'm trying to organize my thoughts.
I know.
Because I thought of something else from one of my other favorite authors, and now I'm stuck on that, but that's not the point I want to make right now,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's the point I have to no, all right. Focus. So, I think that okay, so sleep, yeah, that's not wasting time because your body needs sleep to function. And if you don't sleep, like eventually your body makes you sleep, you know? And like, I think that rest and sleep and taking a break is important, but if it comes, I mean, like, Kayla, I think that the reason you don't think that is because you are a productive person and your problem is not taking a break. But there are people that sit down to take a break and never get back up again. And it's because, like, there just needs to be a moderation. At some point, you are wasting your time not doing anything. I mean, like, again, me personally, there have been some weeks where, like especially living at home now and not having a job, I end up staying up till 4 a.m. I don't wake up till like 10. I'm not a morning person. And we talked about this the other week, but like all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and I haven't done anything with my day.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I've wasted that whole day. Like, and it's not a matter about having to be productive to me. It's a matter of the only way I can think of it is it's just a matter of not wasting time, because I think I am very aware of how little time people have. That sounds morbid. We're not going to get into that. What?
I have something to say about that.
So, Pat Conroy is one of my other favorite authors. And in his autobiography and in a couple of other writings by him, he talks about this experience that he had when he was living in Paris, and it was in the middle of a wartime. I can't remember which war it was, but he was walking down the street. He had just bought a gift for his daughter, and a bomb in a bakery went off. And there was a man standing right outside that had been standing so still, not doing anything. And when the bomb went off, he was on fire after the bomb went off, and he was running and screaming and yelling. And it had like a really impactful moment on Pat Conroy. And so he writes all over the place and mentions like, live your life like a man on fire. Like, because you don't know, like at any moment, like, I don't know. This is getting too morbid and I don't want to get into this part, but like the whole concept of like live your life on a man on fire, like a man on fire, like you don't know how much time you have. So do you really want to spend a whole week just watching TV and not working on anything? You can go now. It's your turn.
Thank you. So I agree with that. And like the thing is, I feel like it's interesting from my perspective because I do think you're right. I'm generally overproductive. And I generally do have the issue of I need to take a break. And for the first few months that I was living with this other family, I would spend about 48 hours awake and then 12 hours of sleep, and then 48 hours awake and 12 hours. And that was like a constant thing. And like you can ask everybody, it drove them nuts because I was like up all the time. And then I would crash just like on a random couch, and I just was out. Like that's what I would do. I would go for 48 hours at a time and I'd crash. So that's where like my thing about sleep comes in is like, I don't know. I feel like if I look at things such as wasting time, if I look at everything like it's wasted time or whatever, I feel like it's kind of a depressing way to look at it. Also, the time that you enjoy wasting does not necessarily make it wasted time. I did research into this. Yeah, the time that you enjoy wasting does not make it wasted time because you actually enjoyed wasting that time, which meant that during that time, you were happy. So if you think that you're wasting time, but it actually like don't make that face. Just let me finish explaining this, please. If you're not spending your time on necessarily the thing that you think would be most productive, and you want to say that there's such thing as wasted time. I'm not saying that there is such thing as wasted time. but you want to say that there's something that you're wasting time on. If you are enjoying spending your time on that, that doesn't necessarily make it wasted time. I will stand by that. Also, as far as living life like there isn't enough time, I don't know. I do that. I live life as if like I could die tomorrow. And we've had this topic or we've had this discussion, and it's simply because I never really ever expected myself to make it to the age of 20. And so now I always live like tomorrow could be my last day. Because I expected my last day to be when I was like 16. And so it's one of those things where like I'm always spending my time being so overproductive. But I feel like I should be spending more time not doing everything that I'm doing. And I don't think that's wasted time. I think that if I take a couple days break and don't do much, I don't think it's wasted time. I have an existential crisis when it happens, as we all saw like last week, but I don't think it's wasted time. I just feel like anything that's coming to your benefit in any way, shape, or form, whether it's an emotional benefit, a mental benefit, or a physical benefit, then it's good.
I agree with that part. I agree that sometimes people need a break. And I'm just going to say it again, Kayla. I think that it's because you're such a productive person that when you take a break, you only take one for like, I mean, your last break was only like 2 days. And like compared to how productive you are, taking a break for that amount of time probably wasn't even enough. But at a certain point, while you may enjoy it, it no longer is good for you. Like when you're saying it that way, you can kind of compare it to like eating like, oh, I need to, okay. So it's like comparing it to eating like cake. Like it's good to have cake once, but or twice or like every once in a while. But as soon as you start eating cake for like every meal, it really is an issue. Like you really shouldn't be eating cake like that. And this is going to bring me into an analogy that my friend came up with, and it was technically about boys at the time, but I'm going to apply it to this situation. And she was talking about how like you can have 3 choices. You can have like a glass of chocolate milk, or you can have like a chocolate pudding, or you can have like a piece of chocolate cake. And like, yeah, you really want the chocolate cake and it's really good, but it's not good for you. And you can have this glass of chocolate milk, which like really won't satisfy what you're craving, and it won't be enough. And so you end up having the chocolate pudding because it's still kind of what you want, but you're not overdoing it. I don't know if this is coming out right. But you see what I'm saying, though? Like, you make the choice to do what's good for you and don't take the excess. It reminds me of a science experiment. This is bad because this is one of the only things I don't have a source for today. But I have heard a million times that there was a science project done on mice where, like, they were given a button that was, like, connected to the pleasure center of their brain, and they, like, chose to kept clicking the button instead of, like, going to eat food. And so at some point you're like giving yourself instant gratification and you're not motivating yourself to do anything. You're taking too much of a good thing and making it bad. And so you're no longer doing the things that make you productive or make you like who you really are almost. Mm-hmm. So I think it is like when you're taking a break to relax and for your mental health and to recuperate, I don't see that as wasted time. It's when you're doing it in excess, when you no longer need to be doing it.
Okay.
I'm done now.
I am collecting my thoughts. I try not to make a face until you're done because I don't want to distract because I have stuff to say. I feel like we're both focusing on the extreme cases of things, and in extreme cases, I feel like one of us is correct on one of them and one of them is correct on the other. But I feel like we maybe need to talk about like the middle. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like Salazar said he wants cake, pudding, and chocolate milk now, and same. Honestly, I really want chocolate
You're
milk.
welcome for that. I have chocolate pudding, so I'm gonna go have some chocolate pudding after this.
Maybe I'll just go. I don't know. Go get some chocolate ice cream or something after this. That actually sounds really good. But I got distracted. My point is, like, when it comes to people such as myself, or even like such as you, or a lot of other people who are overproductive in general, I feel like there may not be anything such as wasting time. I feel like if there is a person out there who has decided to get knocked down and never get back up, I think that could be considered a waste of time. I think it could be considered. I'm not conceding. I am not conceding. But I think that there is a chance that could be considered a waste of time. However, I feel like for the average person, not the overproductive person, not the underly productive person, but just the in general productive person, I don't know. I feel like if you don't see what you're doing as a waste of time, then that's not waste of time.
I would agree with that. If you personally do not see it as a waste of time, then no, you're not listening to what I'm saying, Kayla.
I'm listening to what you're saying. Go.
If you personally don't see it as a waste of time, then maybe it's not a waste of time. But if I personally see what I'm doing as a waste of time, then it's a waste of time. I think what I'm trying to say is it comes down to your own personal perspective of it. Like, yeah, if you see the benefit of you taking break, can you hear my dog clawing at the door?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this pup.
Is it Zepco?
What I'm trying to say is, like, if you personally are like taking a break and you know that you're taking a break and you know that you need it and you see the value in it, then it's not wasting time. But if you, and this is kind of something I was hitting on before, it's if you can tell that difference, and if, oh my gosh, if you can tell the difference between the two, you personally, in your mind, if you know that you are wasting time, then you're wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing it for a purpose and it has value, and it is your personal site that it has value, then you're not. But I think you can waste time. And I will not concede on that thought.
I have thoughts and I need to.
I'm going to put a time limit on us. When we've been streaming for 40 minutes, I want to switch over to projects because I feel like you and I could just talk circles about this all night and I don't want to do that. So time limit, when we hit 40 minutes, we need to switch to talking about wasting time in projects.
Yes. And then before we leave, I want to talk about Adobe Max a little bit.
Okay.
Because did you know you can live stream Adobe Max?
I did not know that.
It is.
Well, we'll get there.
Anyway, sorry. So there's a little side tangent. Everybody that didn't know, you can live stream Adobe Max and you 100% should. I don't know.
Let it out, Kayla.
I'm not conceding by agreeing with this statement. I am not conceding. I think that if you see what you're doing as a waste of time, I could understand how you think that there is such thing as wasted time. I do not agree with it. I would not agree with you that what you're doing is wasting your time. But if you saw it as wasting time, I could understand how you would personally think that you are wasting your time on something. I just would not agree that you're wasting your time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if somebody looks at me and says, oh, you're wasting your time on this, like, I'm really not. Like, if I'm learning something, if I'm getting a mental break, whatever, you're right. No, let me finish. I am going to get back to where you said. Okay?
I'm sorry. I can't control my face.
I'm going to continue. So, if I am doing something like that, even if I am like just doing absolutely nothing but staring at a wall for 2 hours, I still don't see that as wasted time. Because if you're sitting there doing nothing, you get bored. And then when you get bored, you kind of become creative because you want to not be bored. And so then, like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so then your mind comes up with solutions to things when you're literally just staring there, staring at a blank wall. I feel like there's just I feel like there's a connotation around wasted time, and I don't agree with that connotation of it. I don't think that wasting time is like a bad thing unless you are the extreme of where you literally have done nothing for like the past 3 weeks or whatever. Like you've taken a break and you've never gotten back up.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree that that's wasting time, whether you see it that way or not. Like doing something with your life is what all of us should be striving to do. Now, like I will concede on that point 100%. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just don't see. I have a weird perspective, I guess, is what's been pointed out to me. I have a weird perspective. Just because maybe it's due to my overproductivity, that I have a weird perspective on this. Maybe it's just because I have yet to see anything that I've done as wasting time. Or when I used to see everything that I was doing as wasting my time, I have gotten a reality check and realized, oh, hey, taking breaks is a good thing and you should do it. And so maybe now that I'm in that mindset, it has warped my opinion on it. And I do agree with the statement that you made about the fact that I took a 2-day break and it probably was not long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to go back and say that I agree with you when you say that if you can find value in it.
Yes.
Like, I don't think you can waste time on a project. I don't think you can waste time sleeping. I don't think you can waste time cooking or eating or like if you need to hang out with friends for a little bit to get a break. I don't see that as wasting time. But when you do it for an excess amount of time, that's when I think we have an issue. Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. I don't think I'll ever 100% agree.
I think you just haven't. I think we are in very different places because like you're in a place where you are very productive right now and like everything that you're doing is you're working towards something. I am in a place where like I am not being very productive. I am not I'm not, like I'm trying to get a job, but other than that, I'm not really working towards anything other than like trying to better my design skills.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, when I'm not cooking or sleeping or designing or like taking a break that I need, I'm wasting time because like, there's nothing else productive to be doing. So when I'm not doing that thing that's productive, I'm wasting time. And like, yeah, I don't know. What were you going to say? You looked like you were going to say something.
I was going to say something. Here's also why I think I'm at a different perspective. I do agree that we're like at different stages of productivity right now. And part of me kind of wishes that I was at your productivity level.
No, you don't. It sucks.
I'm so tired. I slept for 12 hours last night. I'm not in a good place with my overproductivity right now. But as we're talking, I'm realizing that I myself am a contradictory person when it comes to this because I do fully believe that there is no such thing as wasting time. However, I feel like I'm wasting my time when I go sit in a class and I'm not going to remember it after I leave. I'm not conceding. Listen, I personally feel like that could be considered a waste of time. And I have literally just had conversations with people of like, I'm not going to remember what I'm doing in college, like half of these classes. Like I want to leave the portfolio and the skills to do everything, obviously, and like people skills and whatnot, because I practice those every single day. but it's not the same exact lecture every day. So if I don't remember it, what's really the point? And I think that what's been pointed out to me is like, if you're working towards something, like even if it's not like something that you're going to remember, something that's worthwhile, then you're not wasting your time. And so I just feel like the conversations that I am having around me are affecting my thought process on whether or not wasting time is a thing. And I feel like probably in a year, I am going to disagree with myself and agree with you. And I will fully admit that. Like, there is going to be a point in time where I probably full-heartedly believe that there is such a thing as wasting time. But as of right now, I think that at least for like me, I at least need to be in the mindset of there's no such thing as wasting time, because otherwise I'm never going to take breaks, and I probably will not care enough about college to do anything. Mm-hmm. So I just think, I don't know. It has to be with like our different stages in life. I agree.
Yeah. And I wanted to say two things off of that really fast because we're at our 40-minute mark. But I would also say that even if you're not going to remember it, you're not wasting your time. Like that's kind of hitting again on like, you're still working towards something. Even though you're not going to remember it, you're still working towards something. Yeah. And kind of like, I like what you said about like, it's still like affecting your thought process, and like you're still working on those skills. And so to me, even though you might not remember it, to me, that's different. So yeah. I don't think you're wasting your time there.
Well, and that's where I'm saying that my different perspective comes in. And I feel like, I mean, we have people watching right now, so I'm curious about your perspective. If you wouldn't mind sharing that in the chats, just about your perspective on this topic, because I'm definitely curious. I feel like I am genuinely outnumbered. I feel like there's not a lot of people that would agree with me that there is not really such a thing as wasting time. And I do feel like it probably just comes from like a different perspective on life, of like the perspective that you need to have on life at that point in time. And so I feel like there has probably been a point in your life, or I'm not going to say this, but I feel like in everybody's life, there's probably been a point where they're like, there is no such thing as wasting time right now. Like, if I am doing this, it is for a reason. I feel like everybody's been there at points in times, and I feel like right now I'm just at that point in time where I don't think that I need to think that there's not such thing as wasting time.
Yeah, and that was the second thing I wanted to hit on from what you were just saying, of like, I think that it kind of comes down to, it's a motivation factor for me, where like, if I am not, like, if I was to sit there and say, oh, well, I'm being like, this is an important thing that I need to be doing right now, even though I'm not doing anything, like, even though I'm doing nothing, I need to be doing it for me. If I started to think that, then I really would never get anything done. Like, I need to feel like I'm wasting time, or I wouldn't get up and do stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think now that I am thinking about it rationally, I should not be pushing my beliefs onto you about this, because it is kind of a motivation tactic, and people get motivated from different ways. So you can believe, I will let you have that belief that you can't waste time, but I'm going to hold on to my belief that you absolutely can.
I think that this is interesting. I know we're over our 40-minute mark. I also know that we're going to go over an hour tonight. Like, I can feel it.
It's going to happen.
So everybody prepare for a longer architect tonight.
Get ready.
Get ready. It'll probably be this whole week, because you hear us talk about multitasking.
That's going to be fun.
I know. That one might have to be postponed, because I still have forgotten to ask Professor Kerr to join us.
Yeah, you're good.
But I think that it comes down to motivation. I think you're correct. I think it does come down to like the motivation tactic, because for me, if I thought that there was such a thing as wasting time, I would have no motivation to do anything. Like, I will admit that straight up. If I thought there was such a thing as wasting time, I would not be in college. I would be out there looking for a job right now, because I have a portfolio, and I feel like if I spent all of my time on personal projects instead of college, then I could get a job. Mm-hmm. But if college isn't wasting my time, good thing I'm in it, you know? Like,
I was about to say, I'm gonna disagree with you there because college has a lot of value, so don't even go there.
I'm not gonna drop out of college.
Okay.
Let's just put it out on the air. I'm not dropping out of college.
All right.
So, at least not at this point in time. So my point is like, I need to not see things as a waste of time, so this way I do them. Because if I saw me like watching TV as a waste of time, I wouldn't be doing it, and so I would not be taking a break.
Yeah.
If I saw, stuff that I really dislike doing as a waste of time, I wouldn't be doing it. And so I think it's interesting because we motivate ourselves in different ways.
Mhm.
And my way of motivating myself is like, there is no such thing as wasting time. So please spend your time on this and fail, or, just put in the effort, do something, take breaks, do all that stuff. And so, like, I don't know, I just think it's interesting because I think you're right. Like, we can't really force our ideas on anybody. We can't really get anybody to see the same way as us, and that's fine. I feel like everybody has different variations on this thought process, but it's interesting that we motivate ourselves on the concept of wasting time in complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
Really quick, Jared says, for me, it varies from day to day, project to project. Sometimes I walk away from something and do nothing, and in the moment it feels great, but afterwards I may regret it. Does that make sense? That
Makes
does make
perfect sense.
Wow, look at how happy you look. No, it makes sense. I feel like you can look back on something and think that you wasted your time, but in the moment you weren't wasting your time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, I'm terrible at wasting time, though. If there is such a thing as wasting time, I'm terrible at it. Because I will be sitting there going, oh, I am wasting my time. Like, I need to be doing so many other things. And
that means that you're good at wasting time.
No, like, okay, well, yeah, I'm like really good at wasting time, but wasting time is a bad thing. It's not something you want to be good at.
That's what I'm saying. I am terrible at wasting time. I am terrible at rationalizing my time.
All right. We said we were going to move on 7 minutes ago, so we have to move on.
So, wasting your time when it comes to projects.
Yeah, this is something that we agree on.
This is something that we agree on, and it's going to be, I think it might still be an interesting topic of conversation for this art check. I just feel like if you are here to see the brawl, it is over.
Yes.
It
has happened.
It has happened. Yeah, I do think that when it comes to projects, I mean, there's like, I think that this kind of goes for projects, like friendships, relationships, and stuff kind of along that manner. If you invest 20 hours into a project and you have grown a little itty bit as a designer, that wasn't wasting your time. Mm-hmm. If you invested, a year into a relationship or a friendship or whatever, and you've changed as a person because of it, you're not wasting your time. I just feel like that's universal for projects and for relationships and for education and anything like that. If you're growing a little tiny bit because of it, it's not a waste of time at all. And so I'm going to let you say what you have to say just because I want to hear what you have to say before I taint it with my opinion.
No, I mean, that was kind of the same. Sorry, what?
I just want to hear your perspective and where you're taking it before I continue.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the same place that I was taking it, whereas like, and this is something we kind of touched on when we talked about rejection, and you did kind of just mention it, but like, if you're working on a project and it like gets thrown out the window, like that, it wasn't a waste of time because you like, as you're working on stuff, you get better. And so you've developed a new skill, or you've like refined a skill that you already had. And so that project has value, even though it didn't end up working out. And so you didn't really waste your time. And I'm just repeating what you just said, but like, as long as you're working towards something and getting better and learning and progressing, you're not wasting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't go over an hour because we're just in agreement on this one.
Yeah.
Salazar said, I think if you get something out of it, then you're not wasting time. And I think both of us wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that that's like the point where, you know, people that think that there's no such thing as wasting time and people that think that there is such a thing as wasting time, I think that most people can agree on that. If you're getting anything out of it, then you are not wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see where my logic is and I see the fault in my logic, but I still believe it.
Yeah.
Talking about this right now, I see the fault in my logic. I also see that I have a very unique perspective on it.
Yeah.
And so I see where the fault in my logic is. And I think that the fault in my logic is that I see everything that you're doing as something that you're getting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I think my thought process comes in.
Yeah.
So what?
I don't want to get back into it, but I just thought of a really good point.
No, I mean, we got time. Just get back into it. We told everybody we were going in over an hour today.
Why? I think that it comes down, you have to take into account the value of what you're getting out of it. Like, I don't know. I won't get back into it all the way, but if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit. We've alluded to this, but I actually don't think we've really gotten into sunk costs.
Oh, I think we've mentioned it, but I think you're right. I don't think we've gone into it very far.
I think we have definitely mentioned sunk costs. It's something that is taught to us, and I am so grateful that it's taught to us what it is, because it has changed the way that I think about a lot of things. Sunk cost is essentially how much time are you going to sink into this project if it's not going to get any better? At what point in time are you going to stop? And that doesn't mean that, like, you know, I'm spending 2 weeks on this and I haven't, you know, grown it all. No, if you're spending 2 weeks on a project, there's going to be some way, shape, or form that you've grown. And just by quitting, that might be you growing as a designer because you can learn to give up on bad ideas. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think this is very appropriate for what I talked about at the beginning, because I'm at a point where I'm trying to consider my sunk cost into this project because, yeah.
There is such a thing as bad ideas. And I'm not saying this towards you. I want to clarify that right now because I realize that as I'm saying it, I think your idea is actually really good. I think
it could be really good. I just need to figure it out.
As somebody that's been seeing you make it, there's just something off. No. I would love to help you figure it out. But I feel like there are such things as bad ideas. Half of my sticker stint, I hate it so much. I think that a lot of it was bad ideas. Yeah. But I did it because I grew as a graphic designer. Now I have the option to go back and like fix my sticker stint and like write this case study on it and like make it like a really good big project or whatever. But like in my opinion, that's gonna take a lot more time than that project is probably worth. I'm just like trashing on my designs right now. I know I'm a really good graphic designer and I would never say that about my animation. I shouldn't have done the sticker stint at that point in time. But like, I just feel like when you've sunk enough time into a project and we were talking about this like last week and I don't remember what topic it was and I don't remember why, but we were talking about like, you have a project and it's a turd. No matter how much light you shine on it, it's still not good.
It wasn't our official topic, but we ended up talking about giving up on bad ideas.
Great. We've discussed this a lot, and it's obviously very important to both of us because we remind ourselves of it all the time. Like when you have a sunk cost, you know, if you've already wasted 12 hours on this and it's not going to get any better, why would you continue pouring your time into it?
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
I'm letting it out still. That was about a long time ago. That was about 20 minutes.
I know. I really didn't mean to do that.
Okay. I've done it before. But like, I feel like it's just one of those things where so long as you realize that your project isn't going to improve and you're willing to like throw it out and start on a new project, then that's a good evaluation of sunk cost. And that's a good evaluation of not wasting your time.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should talk about with sunk cost? I feel like it's an interesting.
I mean, I'm sure there is, but
if anybody has any questions about sunk cost, put it in the comments. But right now, I would like to discuss something. So we will talk more about this on Wednesday. Maybe you and I just like need to like watch like Adobe Max. Like, yes, today's Adobe Max and tomorrow's Adobe Max, and our like Wednesday topic could just be Adobe Max or something. I don't care, but I'm going to talk about this right now. Adobe Max, they are releasing a new version of Illustrator. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing because I work during the day, and it was on while I was working, and then I left the room, and tomorrow I'm going to watch more of it. But they're releasing with the iPad, with the new iPad and the Apple Pencil, they're releasing a new version of Illustrator, and this thing is insane. Like, it's not exactly a new version of it, like it's like an upgrade, like how we always like to upgrade our Adobe apps and stuff. This version of Illustrator is like, Jared and I were watching it together at work because this is like the coolest thing. They have reconstructed the way that you can use the Apple Pencil with the pen tool, the pencil tool. It's crazy. Professor Rogden was talking to me about it too, and he's like, they're coming out with something where basically if you sketch it, you can highlight it all, click something, and it will limit, like let's say you have 40 anchor points. If there are only like 3 or 4 that are crucial to it, it will get rid of all the rest.
Wow.
Isn't that insane? And then they have upgraded the pattern tool in Illustrator to where now, like, you know how much of a pain it is to use patterns in Illustrator?
Yeah.
Literally, you draw something, you draw a little square, so like 4 things, and then you hit pattern tool, and then you drag a line, and it creates that pattern. And you drag another line, and it creates that pattern. You can select it, and then if you don't want it in like a normal grid, but you want it like this, there is one button that you can press to do that.
Wow.
There's one button that you can press to do that. If you want to change the pattern on the whole thing, you can draw in the original square and it will upload it across the whole pattern.
Wow.
It is crazy.
All right.
They are also updating XD and what you can do with XD. Yeah.
What are they doing? Tell me.
I watched like a couple minutes of it because like when we were watching it, it kind of like died. It just said that there was like, we were on BYUI Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, there's poor network connection. You cannot watch this. And I was like, really?
Okay. Well, I will watch that because me and XD got pretty close, but I got really frustrated with some of the stuff that it couldn't do. So I am very intrigued.
Yeah, they were showing like all of these kind of like presets that you're going to have on the iPad. And you can literally just click and drag, or like not even presets, but like if you design something, you can literally just click and drag it on your iPad into XD and just place it wherever you want, and it's there. Getting an iPad is like, me and Professor Roggen were talking about this today. Laptops pretty soon. I don't think there's really going to be any need for them.
See, I gotta have a laptop though, because I just can't do the same things that I can do on an iPad. And
that's where I agree right now. But the stuff that they are coming out with for iPads, for Adobe, is making Adobe 10 times better on an iPad than it is on a desktop.
Well, I'm just talking about like just sketching purposes, because for some reason, and I don't get this because I get that this is a controversial thing, but I design solely with my trackpad. Like I can't design with a mouse. So you would think I could sketch because like I can draw, like I can do my trackpad, but I can't sketch. And so as soon, like whatever it is, as soon as you put a pencil in my hand, I can't do it. And so if it's going to an iPad and a pencil, I'm going to be screwed because like I'm just not at the, maybe I just need to learn to sketch better because I'm just not at the same level sketching as I am using the trackpad and designing.
I agree with Salazar on that.
I use a trackpad.
You see my face when you said that? I was like, I forgot that about you.
Yeah. And what's funny is I didn't used to be that way. I used to design with a mouse, and then once I got this Mac, my mouse and my Mac really didn't work well together. And so out of frustration, I just started using the trackpad, and then it just stuck. And now when I design with a mouse, I'm like, I don't like this.
I have a backup mouse. That is how much I hate designing with a trackpad. Anyways, no, I don't disagree. Like there is something to be said about like the trackpad and everything like that. They also have made keyboards that have the trackpad attachment.
Okay. So maybe it'll be okay.
They do that for Windows, I know, or like I'm like 90%. They do it for either Windows or Apple, and I don't know which one.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere there has been a trackpad keyboard with it.
All right.
So that's what I'm saying though. Because now they have these like laser keyboards where it's like a laser that it projects and it's literally just on the table.
Oh, I've seen that.
Apple. This isn't Apple, but this is something else. But like, I feel like as soon as Apple integrates that with their iPad, like they're gonna, with the way that Adobe is changing its stuff for the iPad, like all of the talks that I saw today, like about the new programs, were just about how it's integrating it with the new iPad system.
It's annoying. They need to fix XD anyways.
I think they're fixing it for both. And the updates come out in 2020. So I think when they say 2020, like right now, I have updates available for my Illustrator, Photoshop.
Oh, I didn't even look.
There's a new Photoshop and a new Illustrator.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, anyways, it's showing up on my thing is like giving me like a new Illustrator and a new Photoshop.
Huh.
So maybe that's just the way that my desktop is working right now and it's looking weird. But yeah, there's definitely updates.
Okay.
I want to go back and watch the one from today because they talked about Photoshop and I'm pretty sure they talked about Lightroom as well.
Okay.
I know for a fact they talked about XD, but I don't know. I'm super excited about the changes that are coming. Jared said, looks like I might be buying an iPad then. I
don't want to sink that much money into it though.
No. The new iPads are cheap, like $300, and they work with the Apple Pencil too.
But I would have to buy an iPad and a pencil.
That's true.
I will wait until computers are no longer.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait until I can actually genuinely afford the iPad Pro. But I will be getting an iPad at some point soon.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much from these new Adobe apps that I just wish I could use right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's insane. Like the way that they're changing Illustrator, and like I feel bad that the only thing I'm talking about right now is Illustrator, and it's not because like that's the only part I paid attention to. It's because that's like the part that I saw and was able to actually sit down and watch. And I rewatched it probably like 3 times so I would remember everything. So I was like, I'm not forgetting this. But like, it's insane. I am so excited for it. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. I think it would be interesting if like we watched the highlights or whatever and talked about it.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be like a Wednesday thing. And if anybody else is watching Adobe Max, and they would like to participate in Wednesdays, I feel like that would be super cool. Just getting a bunch of people in the chats on here, whatever, just like talking about Adobe Max, I feel like that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. So if you're watching it, I know for a fact Jared is because we're watching it together at work. But like, yeah, if anybody's interested in joining us for an Adobe Max discussion, please do, because it's my first time knowing that Adobe Max exists. Finding out that you could live stream it today was like a shattering realization of happiness for me because I am that much of a nerd about this stuff. But yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, cool.
So to wrap it up, we only went over by 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah, not our longest art check.
No, but we've also gotten a lot more condensed in our first 3 questions.
That is true.
We don't get sidetracks anymore.
We used to go like 14 minutes.
Yeah, we get too excited about our topic.
Yeah.
So we are like, no, we're gonna zoom through this.
We gotta go.
Anyways, if you would like to see Kaitlin's stuff, go to @KaitlinSpirations. Go to her YouTube. Please, 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 please go to her YouTube and hit subscribe because we love having people on here on Mondays and we would love to have people on there on Wednesdays. It would be so nice. So please go hit subscribe on hers, especially because we want to be doing this Adobe Max discussion and it would be super cool to have people in the chats talking about it with us. So check out the link to her YouTube below. This is her Instagram handle. Check it out. To see my Instagram, go to @diuguidvisualcomms. The link in my bio is always updated, and there's almost always a story about it too, about when we're doing 48-hour art check with a link in the bio. However, if you want to 100% guarantee that there will be a post about 48-hour art check, go to my Twitter @diuguidvisuals. It's just diuguidvisualcomms minus the com part because Twitter has a limit on your handle. So go there, check us out, follow us. If you want to go see another 48-hour art check, go check out Corey Kerr and Joshua Kimball's. And we will see everybody on Wednesday.
All right.
Gotta hit end.